So my name's James. I'm the manager at Affordable Solar Services. We're a local company in Palm Bay, right off Kirby Circle. We've been in business for about 4 years now. We don't subcontract out at all, so if you ever did decide to get a solar project with us, all of our crews work directly in-house. They're all under workers' comp insurance, and they're all W-2 employees. There's a couple different installation methods when you go solar. If you have a shingle roof, we like to use this aluminum flashing for our racket system, for our brackets that go on the roof, so it slides up underneath the shingles. It has this little socket, this dimple here. It will actually bolt into the rafters of your roof. With that, you'll get 175 mile an hour wind load speed. So winds in this area that have gotten over 140 miles an hour, it's very rare. It might be a microburst from a hurricane, but you shouldn't have any worries at all with any hurricane winds or anything like that. We do put a polyurethane sealant around the penetration, and we give you a lifetime warranty against roof leaks. From our company, we also give you a 25-year labor warranty. Everything that we're doing in order to get the panels on the roof is going to be covered for 25 years. So people's main motivation when it comes to going solar is they want to save money. With FPL, the rates are constantly rising every single year. There's the most rate increase in the past year. I think they raised rates by about 10%. So when you go solar, you can go solar with no money down, and you can save money immediately right off the bat. So for example, we had a customer today. They wanted to go solar. Their average bill with FPL was about $240. They pay no money down, 0% interest over 25 years, and then their monthly payment is $175 a month. Okay. So they're saving quite a bit of money, $50, $60 the first year that they have solar per month. Every year that they have solar, their savings is going to go up, because if they were to stay with FPL, that average payment is going to increase. You could also go solar by paying for a system in cash. If you pay for a system in cash, your return of investment is usually going to be around 8 to 9 years. When it comes with solar, the government does heavily incentivize it. There's going to be a 26% federal tax incentive. Now, let's say your system cost is $100,000. Not a lot of systems are that expensive, just as a hypothetical example. And your tax incentive is going to be $26,000. Well, it's really based on your tax liability. If you're somebody that's retired, you're on Social Security, you don't have a lot of income tax, you're probably not going to qualify for the tax incentive. If you're working, let's say you make $50,000, the government withholds $10,000 from your paycheck. If they came back and gave you a $2,000 refund check, well, that's because they withheld too much money from you. So your tax liability would then become the $10,000 minus the $2,000 they gave back, which would be $8,000. So that person in that example will get an $8,000 check back for their solar tax incentive year one, but you have up to 5 years to claim that full 26% of the system cost. Did I explain that okay?
Year one, yeah.
Okay.
You're making us think today.
Yeah, sorry. So now when it comes to the products that we use, so we like to use REC. The reason we use REC is because they have the best performance warranty of any panel. So every panel is going to go down in performance every single year. Some of them go down by 0.8, 0.7%, as best as REC, which only goes down by 0.25% every single year. So they'll guarantee you, and their warranty, 92% of your power at the 25-year mark. Okay?
92% after 25 years?
After 25 years, they'll guarantee you 92%. Now, LG used to have the most efficient solar panel on the market. They guarantee you 90.8% of your power at the 25-year mark. So it's 1.2% better. We are a certified installer with REC, so what that means for you as a customer is if you did decide to go with us and you went with REC panels, they give you a 25-year product warranty, but they also give you a labor reimbursement because we're certified with them. If you had a defect on your panel within 25 years, they'll send you out a brand new panel and they'll give you a $100 labor credit. If for whatever reason, worst case scenario, 5 years from now this happens and we go out of business, you at least have a $100 labor credit to go and pay another company that's certified with them. Okay?
May I?
Yeah, no problem. So when it comes with solar, John Smith Solar down the street, any other solar company could sell the exact same products. The most important thing is who's getting on your roof, and who's doing the installation, and what's the reputation. So we are a 5-star out of 5-star rated company on Google. We're one of the only solar companies in the whole state of Florida that can say that. The reason we've been able to maintain that reputation is because Randy, the owner, is heavily involved in all the projects. As soon as you sign up, he comes out, he takes pictures of the roof, takes pictures of your service panel, and then when your system gets turned on, he's actually out there helping you set up the software that monitors your system and gets your system up and running for you. We don't subcontract out. All of our crews, they work directly for us. So they're all, like I said, they're all in their W-2 workers' comp. We carry a $1 to $2 million liability insurance as well. And then as far as time frame and installations, we have really good relationships with local building departments. So let's just say you signed up today. It would take probably about 3 to 5 days. We say like a week tops for engineering to be complete and approved. After that, we're in the permitting phase, and depending on what county you're in, it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. So usually around the 3 to 4 week mark, we're actually planning your install, getting the panels on the roof. After that, it takes FPL on average 7 to 10 days to come out and swap your meter out for you. So when sunlight hits your solar system, you're producing kilowatt hours that get fed down through the home. Any energy that is produced by the panels that you can't consume, it is excess. It goes back and it gets fed into the grid, and it gets stored as a credit, an energy credit. So that when the sunlight goes away during the day, at nighttime you can pull from those credits from the grid. Now the way net metering works is if you had a system that was 100% offset, meaning that 100% of your electricity is coming from the panels, some months your system's going to overproduce. In those months, you might get a positive credit from FPL of $20 to $30. Other months, your system will underproduce, and you will owe FPL $10, $20, or $30. It will usually average out to where you owe them about an $8 to $12 connection fee every single month. Okay, did I explain all that okay? So FPL, a lot of what's in the news right now is FPL is passing this big net metering bill. They're trying to do away with net metering, where they're saying we don't want to buy back people's electricity anymore, right? A lot of people are scared to go solar because of this. The bill has not been signed yet by Governor Ron DeSantis, so a lot of solar lobbyists are actually calling Ron DeSantis personally and trying to get him to veto the bill. If the bill, worst case scenario, were to get signed, anyone that goes solar this year in 2022, in 2023, and in 2024, they would be grandfathered in under the current net metering bill, the dollar for dollar at residential rates. So
it's dollar per dollar?
Yeah, so the state before FPL came out with this bill, it was actually required by state law that utility companies had to buy your electricity back for the exact price of what they were charging you. Now they capped it. FPL has said you can't just create a money maker on your roof and put like 150% offset, 160% offset, and put way more panels than what you need. They cap it at 115%. So once you start getting over that, they'll start buying it at wholesale rates. They're trying to do away with net metering completely, but it will not take effect until 2024, and you'll be grandfathered in if you go solar before that time frame, and you'll be grandfathered in for 20 years. So, do you have any questions on anything that I went over?
Well,
go ahead.
Keith has a
Go ahead.
The solar panels are 25-year warranty.
Yes.
And you're explaining it on a shingled roof. But there's no shingled roofs here in Florida that last over 15 years. What happens then?
Yeah, so that is a great question. Insurance companies have reduced the time frame of when they'll drop you. They say if you have a roof that's over 15 years, we're going to drop you. You have to get a brand new roof. So in the state of Florida, a lot of people get roofing through an insurance claim. If you go through an insurance claim, oftentimes insurance companies will pay for the price of the panels to be removed and then put back on your roof. Worst case scenario, if you cannot get a brand new roof through an insurance claim and you have to go cash, you just pay a fee to get the panels taken off and put it back on the roof. It can cost anywhere from $100 to $200 per panel. We charge about $150 per panel to take the system off and then put it back on the roof when you have to replace your roof.
Not 150 and 150 off and on.
No, 150, yeah, flat
off
per
and
panel.
back on again.
That's the price, obviously. Now with inflation, it could go up.
Labor
by the
is
time you have
expensive. I understand.
to get your roof replaced.
Will you guys detach and reset any solar panels that are not y'all's?
Yeah, we do. We get calls all the time. So not only do we get calls to install brand new systems, but we're constantly getting calls to fix people's systems, take off old panels, put them back on, or put our panels on after we have to detach old panels. So yeah, we work with a lot of local roofing companies, and they'll call us up if somebody just doesn't want new solar panels at all, but they want the old ones removed when they get the new roof put on. We get a lot of calls like that as well. Any other questions? I think, do you have a question, Keith?
I have a pool and a hot tub. Does it
Okay.
make sense? And can I just get the panels to cover the electricity for the pool and the hot tub?
Yeah, so there's two different things you can do. If your motivation is just to heat your pool and to heat your hot tub, if you don't have anything that's already heating your pool, we do solar panels that specifically heat your pool. They look like the big black mats that have the PVC pipes and the water gets pumped up onto the roof. That'll heat your pool for 9.5 to 10 months out of the year above 80 degrees. Okay, it's a weather-based product. So, in the summertime, obviously your performance is going to be a lot better. You have a solar controller on the side where you can set the temperature of what you want your pool to be heated. Let's say 100 degrees. Well, it can get up to 100 degrees and even heat your hot tub in some of the summer months. If you just wanted to use an electric, or gas-powered heater for your pool, we would just provide more panels in order to supplement that excess kilowatt hours that you're pulling from that electric heater.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Is it possible here to have a complete backup system that would cover your whole house without having to feed it back to FPL?
So that's a great question. Unfortunately, in the state of Florida, it is a state requirement that you have to be connected to the grid. You can get a whole backup battery system, 3, 4, 5 batteries, and it backs up your entire home. Well, you have to keep in mind you're always going to have to pay a connection fee with FPL. It's a state requirement. So we cannot get a permit. FPL is not going to be able to come out and swap your meter out. If we did it where we were completely off the grid, it would be illegal, and we don't operate that way. So in California, you can be disconnected from the grid 100%. And you don't have to pay the utility company any money if you don't want to. But here in Florida, you have to be connected to the grid.
Is Florida the only state? Other than California, is there other states?
Yeah, there's other states where you can be completely disconnected from the grid. And then, for example, there's also state incentives. So there's the 26% federal tax incentive.
Yeah,
but there's also a state incentive for going solar. So, for example, in New Jersey, if you went solar, you get what's called SRACs, which are tradable commodities on the market when you sign up for solar. Here in Florida, the benefit of going solar is we have more sunlight hours than most of all, if not all the other states. California might be right up there with Florida. But the state incentive, which a lot of people don't know about in Florida, is you get a solar property tax abatement. So if you got a brand new roof and your house value was like $400,000 and went up to $425,000, well, you're going to have to pay more property taxes. But when you go solar, your house value will increase and your property taxes will stay the same. So a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people are talking about the federal incentive of the 26%, but there is a lot of benefit to that state incentive. The only other state that has that incentive is California. California also does the solar property tax abatement. So for example, you went solar in Pennsylvania, your house value increases with the solar, well, so do your property taxes. It's not like that in Florida. And then also, obviously, a state benefit for any home remodeling project is there's no sales tax at all.
Cool.
When I looked into solar when I was in New York, and you're buying the electric from whether it be Lilco or PSENG, whatever, and you were paying 15 to 20 cents per kilowatt. But when you fed it back to them, they paid you 3 cents. Because they paid you what their cost was to make it. But over here is 1 to 1. I like that.
Yeah, it is, and that's why the benefit of going solar there's an urgency for it because they're trying to do away with that net metering and they're trying to make it less than 1-to-1. They're trying to make it because it's taking away from their profits. So every time somebody that goes solar, it's taking away from FPL's business, Duke Energy's business, and then of course they have to raise their rates in order to make up for that.
Is that why they're asking to raise their rates now?
Yeah, well, they
Because
already
too
have.
many people solar.
When I do appointments for people, I compare their bills from 2021 to 2022. One of my last customers was paying, with taxes included, was paying about 12 cents, including taxes per kilowatt hour. Now in January of 2021, where they were paying about 12 cents. In January of 2022, they're paying about 13.4 cents per kilowatt hour. So, oftentimes as homeowners, if you haven't really looked into solar yet, we can just pay our bills and they're on automatic payment. We're not really paying attention to them, and we don't see that $15, that $20, that $30 bill average increase. And that's why there's a big urgency with going solar. The solar, it sells itself. If you plan on moving in say like 3 or 4 months, I would say solar may not be a fit for you. Just because it's like you're putting a big investment right before you sell a house. But if you plan on staying at your house for 5, 10, 15 years or the foreseeable future, I truly believe that solar is a financial no-brainer. And your decision should be what solar company you're going to go with, not staying with FPL. I truly believe that that's the decision you should be making.
My electric bill is about $300 a month. And I really would love to have solar panels on my roof. And the only thing holding me back is that I have hip roof all around. So that means I would have panels here and there all over, and it looks ugly. Does anybody do the shingles?
Yeah, so I tell people, might not like the look of the panels, but you'll like the look of the money going back into your pocket.
Right, but if I had a gable roof, I would have solar panels on my roof already.
Yeah, I mean, we work with all different types of roofing systems, and like I said, we give you a lifetime warranty against roof leaks. If there's ever a roof leak, you call us, we'll be there, within a day or two to come and fix it for you. But in the 4 years that we've been in business, we've gotten only one call for a roof leak. We went out with the roofer that did the person's roof, and it turned out it was the roofer that had the issue, and not the solar installation from our company. So,
I like the brackets that you're using there. I like that.
Yeah, and like I said, we're using aluminum because it doesn't rust or corrode like a metal would. And then the polyurethane sealant makes it pretty impossible for your roof to leak. We can, if you don't like the way the panels look in front of your house, we can kind of wrap them around the house as long as you have good, south, east, and west sunlight exposure. We never want to put the panels on the north-facing plane because on an annual period, you're not going to get nearly as much sunlight as you would need to make it cost-effective for you.
Yeah, the best roof would be facing south.
Yeah, so we go south first. So, and then we're going east and west are pretty similar. On the west-facing side, you're going to get more sunlight hours towards the end of the day. East is going to get more so in the morning times. Well, east and west, pretty similar production, but we try to utilize your south-facing planes first.
I do have a question. Is there advantages, obviously, during hurricane season or if power is off, that solar can generate energy for generators and things like that when your electricity's out, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I was just going over the panels. So Enphase makes what's called a microinverter. So this is the IQ7 microinverter. They actually just came out with a new micro